called
Murder Show. Find our red room and we will find you. We have never formally introduced ourselves. We are the darkness, the shadows, our fear. All of our messages contain...
We assumed it was all fake.
Watching your phones, the computers, every goddamn...
This is the chilling story of a young man who accidentally uncovers a secret murder show on the dark web, only to realize the killers are now hunting him too. What follows is a nightmare that exposes just how deep real-world evil can go. The movie opens in a forest where a girl named Amanda wakes up. A camera had been strapped to her stomach, and the surrounding trees also had cameras. The scene then shifts to a few hours earlier, when Amanda and two of her friends were leaving a party. Amanda receives a message asking her to meet someone. She then leaves her friends to meet that mystery man, but feels like she's being followed. At that moment, the sender sends a clown emoji, and two people in clown masks grab her from behind, covering her mouth. She wakes up in the forest, confused and terrified. As she wanders, she finds posters of missing people. One is hers. Before she can recover, the masked figures return and inject her, knocking her out. This time she wakes tied to a chair, facing a camera. A voice forces her to smile and reveals she's part of a murder show. A live stream runs as viewers send messages suggesting how to kill her, and Amanda is murdered. The next day, police find her mutilated body in the forest, and the news spreads quickly. This wasn't the city's first bizarre murder, and the killers remain unknown. The scene then cuts to a podcast hosted by Ethan, a famous YouTuber, discussing the same murder show where Amanda was killed. He explains that people take pleasure in watching others die, and such shows are shockingly easy to access, though the police have no leads. In his podcast, he criticizes the police but says he doesn't hate them. He just wants them to do their job. During the show, Ethan receives a call with only a girl screaming. The podcast ends and then his mother calls, crying, urging him to come home. There, he learns his sister Amanda has been murdered. Devastated, he records another podcast, revealing the killers remain unknown. Mourning at her house, he sees a message on her board. Hell is empty. All demons are here in this world. He photographs it, sleeps on her bed, and dreams of her murder. He then receives a message with the clown mask he had seen before, unsure of its connection. On the way to his mother's house, he spots a masked girl outside, panics but finds no one. At home, he hides his fear from his mother, promising her he will find Amanda's killer. He goes into his room and receives messages, pictures of his sister's dead, mutilated body. Terrified, he sees the horror before him. The scene cuts to Kate, Amanda's friend, who works at a boutique. Ethan meets her, knowing she was close to Amanda, and tells her he's been feeling followed and receiving threatening emails and Amanda's dead photos. Among them, he even sees a picture of Kate with Amanda. Scared, Kate finally confesses. She, Amanda, and another friend had once discovered a dark website streaming a live murder show. Viewers paid to torture a girl. Amanda had sent money to cut her nails, but instead, the girl was killed on screen. They were terrified and guilt-ridden. Kate explains the site's links change constantly and cannot be traced. Ethan mentions he knows a hacker who can help. Kate adds the videos are online on the dark web. Ethan searches and finds one that begins with an eerie voice claiming they are rulers of the dark world. Challenges and puzzles appear. Solve them to find the murder show. Ethan cracks them all, opens the video, and immediately receives a message showing a picture of his own wife sitting there. Watching the video terrifies both of them. Ethan quickly looks around and steps outside to see if anyone is watching, but the area is empty, making them even more fearful. Shaken, they decide to seek help from the hacker Ethan knows, Shadow Monkey. When they explain everything, Shadow Monkey refuses to help, warning that if the killers have already hacked their phones and computers, they could be extremely dangerous. Ethan becomes emotional and angry, blurting out strange things in frustration. Surprisingly, Shadow Monkey finally agrees to listen, and reassured, Ethan and Kate leave his place. Kate says she doubts he will actually help, but Ethan reminds her that Shadow Monkey aided him in 6 previous cases. He's strange, but skilled. Kate then remembers a detective's card from someone who interviewed her after Amanda's death and gives it to Ethan. He repeatedly tries calling the number, but it's either off or out of service. Ethan drops Kate at her boutique, where she's been putting work aside. On the way, they decide to meet the detective first thing in the morning. At the boutique, Kate feels like she's being followed. She checks outside, no one is there, and returns inside. Shortly after, Ethan video calls her to discuss the case. Their friendship grows as they work, but suddenly the lights go out. Kate goes to check the fuse, hearing strange noises. Turning around, she sees a clown toy playing eerie music, adding to their growing terror. Ethan urgently tells Kate to run, seeing a shadow behind her. She turns and sees a girl wearing the same clown mask as Amanda's killers. Before she can escape, she's attacked and knocked out. Ethan, watching everything on his phone, is powerless to help. The masked figures even grab his phone, and though he threatens them, they ignore him. When Kate regains consciousness, she finds herself locked in a small cage with a camera pointed at her. She hears a familiar voice. Another friend of hers and Amanda's, also kidnapped like her. Terrified, they wonder what will happen to them. Suddenly, a gate opens and Kate's friend is dragged away despite her desperate cries. Soon, a masked man appears with a large syringe, injects her, and she loses consciousness again. Meanwhile, Ethan reaches the police station to seek help, meeting Detective Sancha, the same detective whose card Kate had given him. Ethan explains everything: the dolls left at the crime scenes, the clown-masked kidnappers, and their dark web murder shows. He reveals that after watching those videos, the masked figures began targeting him too, even following him to his mother's house, and that he witnessed them during Kate's kidnapping over video call. The detective listens to everything Ethan says and comments that he needs a better approach, hinting that Ethan's complaints haven't led to any action. Meanwhile, Kate wakes up to a live broadcast showing a boy being tortured, with viewers paying for him to suffer more. Horrified, she screams for it to stop, but no one listens. The boy is eventually mutilated and killed on screen. Kate's other friend, previously kidnapped, is brought back to the same cell, terrified, knowing her turn is coming next. Elsewhere, Ethan, working with Shadow Monkey, devises a plan to save Kate. Using Shadow Monkey's hacking skills, they manage to copy the murder show's link, but quickly realize it's a trap. The killers message them, "Next, it's your turn." Shadow Monkey is momentarily shaken, but reassures Ethan that his systems are heavily secured, though he notices his camera is still on, letting the killers watch him. Alarmed, he grabs a gun for defense and gives Ethan a knife in case of danger. After copying the link, Ethan returns to the police to report everything, but they remain unwilling to listen. Meanwhile, Shadow Monkey celebrates hacking the site and gaining the upper hand, while Ethan continues arguing with the detective, desperate to make them understand the imminent threat. When the detective asks for evidence, everything seems to change before Ethan can show it, and the police dismiss him as lying. He knows the truth, so he quickly leaves and calls Shadow Monkey to warn him that the murder show operators have found his secret location. Shadow Monkey, focused on tracing the show's location via IP address, ignores Ethan's warnings. Once the address is found, the hackers' computers are taken over, screens flash with the clown mask, and two masked killers break into his house. By the time Ethan arrives, it's too late. Shadow Monkey has been killed, and all three of his computer screens display the murder show intro. Searching Shadow Monkey's pockets, Ethan retrieves the show's location and heads there, witnessing unconscious victims being dragged inside. He tries to sneak in but is ambushed, injected, and wakes up in a cage beside Kate and her friend. A screen shows the girls being tortured for the murder show. Panic and screams fill the room. Remembering the knife Shadow Monkey gave him, Ethan cuts himself free and frees the girl next to him. Determined to fight, they arm themselves and head toward the control room, ready to confront the killers, armed with Ethan's small knife. The room was filled with computer screens, and a masked girl lunged at Ethan with sharp claws, but Kate came from behind, stabbing her with a knife and making her disappear before she could strike him. Ethan and Kate moved deeper, entering the main room where more clown-masked killers sat torturing humans. Horrified, they realized their friend had already been killed by the murder show operators. Kate quickly understood the room was filled with traps and escape was nearly impossible. As masked figures surrounded them, Ethan retreated into a tunnel for safety. Kate, determined to fight, grabbed an axe, knowing she would be killed if she didn't. Two masked men fled from her, but she continued chasing to save Ethan and found a chainsaw along the way. Meanwhile, the girl who had disappeared returned to the control room and triggered the alarm. A masked man with an axe entered, aiming for Ethan, but Kate struck him with the chainsaw first. Fearless, she fought anyone who came near. The final killer, the true murder show owner, managed to escape. Months later, the scene shows Ethan and Kate taking down a group of serial killers, something the police had failed to do. The media questioned the authorities, but they had no answers. Years later, we see that Ethan has written a book about his harrowing adventure. The book becomes a massive success, earning him fame and attracting fans who line up for his autograph. He now lives with Kate, and they enjoy a good life together, though the fear of the last clown-masked killer never fully leaves them. Ethan keeps a gun close at all times, even when taking out the trash. While outside, he notices a missing person poster with his picture, identical to the one Amanda, his sister, had at the start of the story. Before he can react or grab his gun, someone injects him from behind, knocking him unconscious. When he awakens, he's tied inside a truck, surrounded by masked people auctioning him off. Finally, he's sold for $10,000 to a girl, the same one who had escaped that day. Shocked, Ethan watches as a masked man removes his mask. It's the detective he had always turned to for help. They all laugh at him, revealing that powerful men were secretly orchestrating the entire game. The shocking revelation exposes the twisted network behind the murder shows, and the movie ends on this chilling note. In the end, the story reminds us that the real monsters often hide behind power, privilege, and a friendly smile. Evil survives not because it is strong, but because ordinary people are too afraid to question it. If this story shook you, hit that like button, subscribe for more intense breakdowns, and drop a comment telling us what you would have done in Ethan's place.